90% of the men in your life don't even know who you really are. That's where the crisis is really at. There is an epidemic of men's mental health right now. Here's the first reason. Most of the males in your life don't even know who you really are. And that's where the crisis is at. They can't even show up for you and support you in the way that you need because you're nervous or you're cautious about taking off your veil and showing them who you really are, what you're really going through, and how they can really support you. Most of our friendships that we have as men in 2026 are friendships by proximity, which is basically people are friends due to how close they live together or at the jobs that they work together. Or maybe you guys go to a certain club and you guys see each other once a month. Those are most of the friendships that us men have. For some reason, women are really good about going out their way to build certain friendships. Men, we get so focused on work, our goals, building structure, raising families, that we forget that we need brotherhood relationships to be able to thrive in our life and to feel fulfilled. Proximity is the main cause of why many of us are friends. You know, once you left that job, you had that friend that you were always, kicking it with after work. Y'all go train together. After you left that job, it didn't end on bad terms, but do y'all really hang out anymore? You had that friend that, y'all used to always go to the same church and go get something to eat after that. But once you switched church, did that friendship stay there? It dissolved. It didn't end off on bad terms. But that's how relationships are for most of us men in 2026. They're just proximity. And let's not talk about the unspoken rule of men let's not talk about the unspoken rule that we have created or society has created for us men about having friendships and brotherhood. Y'all know the unspoken rule I'm talking about. The unspoken rule of I'm not going to check this person in an area that I see that he's doing wrong because I don't want to make this person upset with me. I don't want to make him feel like I'm talking down on him. If you see your brother doing something wrong, it is your job to correct him. Even if thing goes left and y'all don't end up being friends later down the road, he's going to understand like, dang, I really handled that wrong. I really took him trying to look out for me and like really got super defensive and I lost a good friend. But let's not talk about the unspoken rule of men trying to avoid confrontation with our brothers. And it's not confrontation. It's called constructive criticism. It's called us critiquing each other. Iron sharpens iron. Iron can't sharpen iron if we're not open to receiving that constant criticism and critique. If I'm walking out, and I'm down the street, if I got a booger in my nose, I pray to God that my brother would tell me I got a booger in my nose before I go talk to a woman or something. If I'm walking down the street and I got a rip in my pants, in my crotch area, I hope my brother's going to tell me like, hey, bro, you got a rip in your pants. There's this unspoken rule for men that like we feel like we can't have these kind of conversations with our brothers. And it's sad because a lot of us want to have these kind of conversations. But the thing is, it has ruined so many relationships because as men, when somebody tries to critique us, especially another man, we get really defensive. Like, oh, he's coming for me. When 99% of the time, he's not coming for you. He's trying to look out for you. Because guess what? If you got that booger in your nose and you're walking all down the street and all of that, guess what? Nobody going to say nothing to you. They just going to have you looking stupid. And when you leave, they're going to be like, dang, he got a booger in his nose. Rather than your brother that's actually pointing out where you're falling short because he cares, you get upset with him when he was just trying to avoid you from all the embarrassment or all the future mistakes that you were going to make. But we have to be real. That's how most of our friendships are. That's how society has made relationships for men, which is why there's an epidemic of men in loneliness. This is not only a woman thing. So brothers, let's be intentional about creating real friendships. Show up to your male friends as who you really are, because majority of the time they're waiting for you to take the first step. Remain stoic.